Right, Zuckerberg has changed ads on Facebook and Instagram forever since this here recent Andromeda update. In this here video, I'm going to show you exactly what's changed and how, but in a basic summary, they're now basically saying stop micromanaging every ad campaign here and let my AI do what it does best. So we'll get into it here in more detail right now and tell you exactly how our team here at Lucky Growth Partners is dealing with it a bit different than everyone else. Bosh! So basically testing ads on Facebook in the old way, we typically would have had it set up in a certain way. So we would have had our ad campaign right here up at the top level, as you can see, and then outside of that ad campaign, we would have had ad sets. Those ad sets in each one would have had one single creative. Now, each ad set would have been spending in and around about £20, £10 to £20 per day on those ad sets per creative, okay? Initially, every single ad set just would have been left broad. So that means leaving the audience open and letting Facebook do the work. As a campaign would have developed, if we noticed that that product or service actually had like a close affinity or link with another type of thing, then we could have looked at that. Such as if we were looking for more mature homeowners that are women, then we could have looked at the likes of Coronation Street or EastEnders, just to give you a few ideas as an example right there. So Meta no longer wants that, and there's a few things outside of that that have also changed. The reason that we actually used to put every single creative inside of its own ad set is the fact that we just could never trust Facebook to actually spend accurately on creatives. Here's a quick example of what I mean there. So say your graphic design team returns 10 creatives for that campaign or videos as well, and you look through them, and as natural, you pick out and you say, okay, this one or this two is definitely going to do better than everyone else. If we left everything in one single kind of campaign, just like this here, so campaign here, and then every single creative would have been under that campaign, so C1, add 1, add 2, and add 3, just to give you an example here. Then I would have looked at the campaign 24 to 48 hours later, and you would have said that in the past, A1 would have been your winner, but say that only spent literally 40p. We would have then seen that A2 would have potentially spent up to 40% of the budget, and then we would have seen that the rest of the budget was made up, remainder, just rest, I'm going to put there, was there. So that meant that A1 just didn't get a fair run out. What we needed to change with that was the fact that we needed to segment every single one just to give it a chance to run with an equal budget, and that actually allowed us to identify which ads would have had higher than normal characteristics or would have been determined a winning ad as per se. Now, to keep things simple, the rule was basically one ad per ad set, and that meant that we spent the exact same on every single creative so that we could actually identify which ones drove our performance. After running every single ad and ad set for around 2 to 4 days, then we would have reviewed the data, found out exactly which ones actually are performing a bit higher than the rest of them, and brought them from a testing campaign straight into towards a scaling campaign. Now in the new way, here's the difference. So as you can see here, yes, we have our one ad campaign right here, and we have our ad sets, which still would have the budget at the ad set level rather than the CBO level, okay? And the difference here within every single one of these ad sets is that we're actually looking to run individual angles, so angle different hooks in towards that audience to find out what actually converts there. But inside of each hook and each ad set, we're running 10 plus creatives, and it's actually to the point of where you can run unlimited amounts of creatives in there. So just to give you a bit more of an example on that, Facebook is now spending much more accurately across the creatives whenever you're uploading them into the same ad set. That's being brutally honest. That means that the need for multiple creatives and more creatives has increased massively as you think. But that in turn gives us more opportunities to identify winners, which is a good thing. The way that we've been working this so far, just to give you a few examples with the likes of business loan, it might be something similar to this here. So on the first hook, we might say that we're able to get bigger or larger loans than your standard bank loan. On the second hook, it might be that loan rates are increasing soon. Look here. On the third hook, it might be that new SME funding schemes are announced. See if you qualify. Out of those hooks, we'd be running ads within each one, and we'd identify which one that the audience on the broad spectrum typically actually responds to and comes in at good lead cost and conversions. So as we have access to running more creatives, our goal is to identify which angles actually resonate within that audience and exploit that as much as possible with variations and revisions of high performing or winning ads. Once the ads have been proven to work within our testing or our sandbox campaigns, as you see here, we look then to bring them into one single scaling campaign. And that's exactly where budgets are looked to be increased continuously, as long as they're matching in with the KPIs at hand. In our opinion, to be completely honest and blunt with you, Andromeda is going to continue to push things towards like one single ad set, towards us not making the decisions, towards AI and Facebook making the decisions, and actually getting us closer to the audience who want to be seeing our ads, which is good news. It actually removes the dependence that we have in terms of detailed targeting, manual bidding, audience research, or even interest stacking within the campaigns, which will save us time in theory and allow us to focus a lot more on the creative side of things. So what we're thinking is that highly aligns with Meta's goal of actually producing more ads, which in theory will lead to less frequency, so people will see the same ads less. And from that, people will enjoy the platform more and continue to browse, which makes sense. But everyone loves their theories at the same time. While we're going through kind of these here updates, obviously with Facebook Andromeda, we're obviously going to be testing out new strategies continuously. This is one of the variations which is in play right now. It's working very well for us and driving down lead costs significantly. If you have campaigns running right now, I would highly encourage just rework your creatives constantly. You'll definitely need to look into that there if it's not something that you're already doing. Stop being so reliant on the same ads, because they can literally drop off a cliff yesterday. I can't even tell you the amount of companies come to us and say I was relying on these ads until suddenly they just died. That's definitely another part of Andromeda. Creatives are definitely dying out a lot faster, and we're needing to cycle through a lot more creatives for our clients to keep up the same amount of lead volume or lead quality. It also means that we're identifying new angles, which sometimes can lose a bit more or also win. So there is good and bad within this update. I'd be very keen to hear exactly what you're seeing back on your ads on your side, and please make sure that you test out this strategy, because it will save you money from what we're seeing. If you want more leads, more qualified leads, we are Lucky Growth Partners, and we can provide leads within certain industries such as business, finance, and more. If you have any questions about running your own campaigns, we're always here to assist, and I can always give you a bit more hands-on. See you soon and have a great day. God bless. Bye.